Welcome back to No Contest, Stab and Red Bull's look into the food, culture, and local customs of surfing's richest international surf communities, and some of the best waves on the planet. On this episode, the WSL is back in Mexico for the first time since the iconic 2006 Rip Curl Search event. While surfers are isolated in their Barra de la Cruz bubble or at a former Club Med called Las Brisas, we're getting a proper locals tour of the surfer's paradise known as Southern Mexico. Guided by two of Huatuco's most widely beloved local hosts, I'll be joined by my good friend, Brazilian young gun Mateus Herdy, as well as Indonesian Olympian and stab high standout Rio Waida.
Where are we going, Rio?
We're going to get some food.
To surf, meet, and eat with the best surfers from every corner of Mexico's ridiculously surf-rich coastline. This is No Contest Mexico, beyond Barra de la Cruz. From Guerrero south to Chiapas, the Pacific coast of southern mainland Mexico is one of the most insanely surf-rich regions in the world, especially Oaxaca. Drag your finger the 150 or so miles from the thumping beach breaks of Puerto Escondido, south to the sand points of Salina Cruz, and you'll pass anywhere between 30 and 60 world-class waves, depending on which local's map that you're looking at. Dead set in the middle, Huatuco, and just a 40-minute drive from their wonderfully quaint international airport, one of the world's most mythical waves, Barra de la Cruz. Flights to Huatuco from international hubs through Mexico's city abound, but on Thursdays and Sundays, there are direct flights from Tijuana to Huatuco for around $250 US. For surfers coming from California, it's a short walk through the cross-border expressway, over the international border and into the Tijuana airport, then a 4-hour flight to beautiful Huatuco International. We rolled with Mario to meet his old friends at the arrivals gate and to get them checked in at the WSL's location for their COVID bubble. Sprawling, all-inclusive Las Brisas, before heading out on our own.
What are we doing here? I'm here and I don't feel in Mexico. Well, I don't think it's culture here.
Yeah. Non-surfers might know Huatuco for all-inclusives with names like Dreams and Secrets, or for the former Club Med Las Brisas, a seriously plush and ultra-convenient location for the WSL's COVID bubble in hopes of keeping staff, surfers, and the local community safe. But while Rio and Mateus waited to hear about wildcards into the main event, we checked in just a few miles away in Huatuco proper, at Posada Santa Clara, our host Mario's family-owned and operated hotel and restaurant, and settled into a daily routine. How often are you here this early doing this?
Probably, all this month? Last month, basically.
A 5:30 a.m. wake-up call. A fresh juice and acai with Mario at Agave, his new cafe and juice bar. And an hour hanging with the dozens of esteemed local guides and visiting surfers, discussing tides, swell directions, and which sandbars are working.
One of my favorite guys.
Thank you. One of my favorite.
By 7, we're on the road chasing waves with this guy, William Pellos Pipe, our guide for this episode, and a true local, a venerable cultural folk historian. One of the area's original guides in the early 2000s, these days Mario's firmly planted behind the counter at Agave. But he was more than psyched to hop in for a tour of bustling downtown Huatuco in William's now iconic Volkswagen Beetle, or Vocho, which were formerly Mexico City's unofficial taxicab, built at the famous Puebla Volkswagen factory from 1962 until 2003. The sound of that thing starting up is like sweet music.
This is La Crucecita, or downtown. Everybody knows this place. Santa Cruz is the main beach.
Most days, Huatuco's Central Square is a bustling, stylish little town and the cultural center of the region. Tons of great food, bars, and open-air markets selling locally made clothing, leather goods, and more.
Right here, mi amigo, La Crema. This place has a lot of history in Huatuco, huh?
Mexico is a tricky place, even for the most seasoned traveler in a good 4x4. And since the early 2000s, most visitors here forego expensive rentals in favor of hiring local guides like Mario and William, which has helped build a vibrant local community of guides and camps who have hosted and helped visiting surfers score in southern Mexico for 2 decades. Guides here are judged by their intel experience and ability to navigate each wave in Oaxaca's unique protocols, municipality fees, and so on. Want to hang in Huatuco, surf Barra, maybe even a sneaky little corner wedge on a secluded nude beach? Hire William or any of the other guides trusted by this guy, Luis Santos Jimenez, or Toro, of Toro Surf Trips. Prefer the more remote, groomed sandpoints of Salina Cruz? Most surfers will tell you, stay at camps like Punta Conejo, or with David Ramirez at his dreamy waterfront outpost, Las Palmeras Surf Camp.
If you want to call somebody a guide, there's probably 20 guides. But if you want to call somebody a driver, there might be close to 100.
We're rounding Santa Cruz. I'm going to show you a view from Principal Bay, the most important bay in HUATULCO. This is where the cruise ships arrive, where the boats, where surf trips are. That's another market, the tourism market.
These things are incredible. Fit his surfboard in the hood of this thing. I don't think people that have ever surfed the sand points down here like have any idea of how perfect they are.
I don't know, it looks like heaven. For some reason, I don't know why.
Mateus has been growing his hair out since he found out he was coming to Mexico, just in case he got the wild card, because he wanted to look like Andy Irons. He's been doing double grab straight airs.
Let's do it. Do some rebels. So this is my room. Oh my god. Me and Rio got the wild card. Yeah, we're here training at Barra for the contest. They closed the beach just for us because, you know, all the COVID and restrictions, all of that. So it's not crowded. It's pumping out there.
It's always my dream to come here to surf along right hand, point back. Yeah, you can get barrels on the top and then you can do turns on the mid.
Every single wave you can like pretty much do something. Pretty much every wave is really good.
Every wave is perfect. Like snapper, you have to pick the right one, but here I feel like all the waves like perfect.
Snapper gets better than his sometimes, but it's just more consistent here.
Believed to be discovered in the early 1990s by traveling Australian surfers, Barra de la Cruz played host to the 2006 Rip Curl Search event, won by Andy Irons in his iconic extra-long Mexican flag Rising Sun trunks. To this day, the 2006 event remains to many the most incredible World Tour event of all time.
I watched the CT from 2006 and it looks amazing, so I've always my dream to come here, so now I'm here, so I'm excited to surf.
The Rip Curl Search Mexico put Barra de la Cruz and the points to the south on the map as an international surf destination. This year, 15 years after the first Barra event, The top surfers from all over Mexico were invited to compete for a slot into the Corona Open presented by Quiksilver at the WSL Trials a week before the World Tour surfers arrived. Meet two of Stab's favorite Mexican progressive young chargers, Oaxaca local Sebastian Williams and Alan Cleland Jr., also known as Pasquale's Al. Right now, Sebastian Williams, who's from Puerto Escondido in Oaxaca, like pretty much a local here, and Alan Cleland, who's from Pasquale's in Colima, are competing for the first time at Barra in their lives, which is pretty rad. So one of them's gonna end up in the final. This is the semifinal. This is gonna be like a duel of like young stars at one of the best right point breaks in the world.
Rule number one, just having fun. When you're having fun, you're doing your best surfing.
What's rule number 2?
Rule number 2, send it.
It's pretty much going surfing with one of your best friends and going to have fun. You can't even take it serious. So it's like you look at your friend and you're laughing all the way out. Even if you're paddle out, you're like, ah. So yeah, I'm stoked. So I just made it to the trials at the Barra contest for the CT, and yeah, I'm really stoked. I get to surf one of my favorite surfers from down here. His name is Diego CADENA. Ever since I grew up, I always watched him surf, and I always want to surf like him. So the final with him is gonna be sick, and the waves are firing, so I'm stoked.
With Pasquale's Al just getting the nod over Sebastian Williams in the semi, he was headed to the final against a Mexican surf icon. This is Diego CADENA, stylish Saludita veteran pro, waterman, and fishing guide, who actually came runner-up in the 2006 trials to the late, great Oscar Moncada.
Cruz, el campeón de los playas es Diego CADENA. Yeah, brother. Felicidades, brother.
I wait 15 years, man! 15 years!
After waiting 15 years for his chance, Diego CADENA was deservedly amped to win the trials this year. On the women's side, Mexican expat and Orange County local Shelby Detmers came out on top against close friend and true Huatuco and Barra local Regina PIOLI. No hard feelings, though. The next morning, the two woke to news that they'd both get spots in the main event.
So I started surfing when I was 17, and probably after a year that I was surfing, I surfed Barra.
I love bright point breaks. I know it's surprising for being goofy fitters. I feel like a lot of goofy fitters always like going left. But I don't know, I love it. It's super fun wave.
I bet the boys are like an hour behind because the boys take forever to get ready.
With the wildcards decided, the WSL worked with the Barra de la Cruz municipality to lock down the point for private warm-up sessions just for the surfers in the main event. After a dream session at Barra, Mateus, Rio, and Sebastian met up with Shelby and Regina at a pre-Hispanic family restaurant to get a taste for the cuisine before the Spanish colonized the region.
We always stop here, the crew from Huatulco, whenever we go surfing. They have like really good quesadillas. She makes like handmade tortillas. She has huevo con tinquiche. She has like all these guisados, papa con chorizo. That's what we eat here, like beans, tortillas,
It's cheap and easy to
frijoles,
grow.
lentejas.
Come on, it looks like chocolate.
Oh my god, this is so good.
Muchas gracias.
It's the last day before Rio and Mateus have to go into the bubble, so we wanted to have a nice little like send-off dinner with everybody. And the boys were taught how to make this clay chicken that Mario's grandmother's had a recipe for the past 35 years they've had this restaurant. 1987, he said.
She's just wrapping that chicken in banana leaves for flavor.
I don't know how to cook. I never cook anything in my life.
So just kind of like stick it like this. Yeah.
So here we go. Thinking it needs to be a little bit more wet. Oh, thank you.
So when you actually put the clay or wrap it in clay, it's gonna act as an oven.
Tonight's our last night here, hanging out with the step crew. It's been a pleasure. It's weird because tomorrow we're gonna be focused on the competition, and now we're just like having a good time. It's our baby. That's a tail, right?
It's gonna look funny.
No, nada. Oh my God.
They did pretty good. We'll see what it looks like when it comes out of the oven.
We have a bunch of the wild cards here. Diego Cadena's here. We have like sort of surfers from all over Mexico for a proper Oaxacan dinner. And Mario's family restaurant for the longest time has been sort of like the sort of family restaurant that people come to when they come and visit.
Erga.
Yeah, Moreno.
Yeah. Cheers.
Diego is like the feel-good story of the summer for surfing. Like we've needed like a hero in surfing.
Yeah,
and Diego winning the trials is like, to me it was, I saw that, I was like, that's the best way this could have ended.
To me, like, prove them they can do it, because I worked so hard for this, and I wait so long for this shot. And it's good, I feel good, to be honest. I'm happy and a lot of emotions, because it was really a long fucking career to get here and finally get a
You
shot.
got second in the last trials?
The last trial was 16 or 15 years ago. I get second place, lose for a point. I was so angry, obviously, and well, Oscar, everybody know Oscar Moncada, he get it. He's up there, right, watching us, and you know, I just wanna have that chance in my life, and finally it happened, and I'm happy about it. And what else can I say?
Mateus, Rio, and Sebastian prepared this clay chicken for you guys. They slaved over it in the kitchen, and they're gonna crack this thing open. All right, Rio, get in there.
Oh.
Smells good.
Oh, good.
Open up, Mateus.
Nice work, buddy. Ah, that's hot. Ah.
While Diego got the sweet satisfaction of his first CT event, Mateus went on to put on the breakout performance of his young career, beating world champ Italo Ferreira not once but twice to make the semi-final. While Rio went down swinging the tour rookie and the winner of the 2021 Corona Open Mexico presented by Quicksilver, Jack Robinson. There really isn't anywhere like Oaxaca. Affordable, accessible, culturally rich, decidedly safe, wildly hospitable, and with more waves and setups than you could possibly score in one trip. Come once and you'll surely come back again and again. I know we will. Thanks for coming along.
Me gusta cuando estamos bailando, me gusta cuando estamos vacilando. Siempre te quiero tener, pero eres peligrosa mujer. Eres mi vicio amargo, me tienes bien envenenado. Tienes mi corazón.
This has been No Contest Beyond Barra de la Cruz.